For the assignment for week 6, it was actually more of a free write. We were allowed to pick a topic of our choice, and the topic that I chose to write about was my um, progress, I guess, or like the steps that I've taken from the time that I graduated high school till now. Um, the reason why I wanted to write about this was because I feel like a lot of us have so many plans and maybe sometimes get discouraged when our plans don't go how we wanted them to, for one reason or another. But so basically, right after high school, even before that, so in another submission, I actually said that I've always known that I wanted to be a nurse for some reason, even since I was little. And I didn't have the best first 2 years of high school academically, but the last 2 years I really buckled down, and I feel like I just kind of kept my future in the back of my mind, constantly trying to remind myself, what my end goal was and what I needed to do in order to get to that. So I ended up graduating high school, and right after I enrolled into college. I graduated at the age of 17, so I was still young. And I was so excited because I was like, I'm gonna be 18, I'm gonna do 4 years of schooling and get my BSN, and everything was just, I pictured it like different, and I really wanted it to just go really smooth, but it wasn't the case. So because I am a first high school graduate generation and also a first generation college student, I felt like I was very pressured, and not in a bad way, but I just felt like a lot of pressure, maybe that I put on myself, to think that, like I need to do this, I need to do this. So yes, so I enrolled in college and community college, and because I didn't have anybody that had gone to college before, so I was a little bit lost and I didn't really know what to expect from it, or if it was gonna, in my opinion, I thought it was gonna be just like high school. So when I applied for classes, I went all out and I applied for 6 classes. Little did I know that the workload was 10 times much more difficult, and just a lot of assignments compared to how it was in high school. So little by little, I feel like I got behind, and that kind of just, I dropped one class and withdrew from another because I didn't want to get the failing grade. Um, so after that, I just kind of felt discouraged, and I kept thinking like maybe college isn't for me, maybe college isn't for me, which eventually led me to, I think about after a year, it led me to dropping out completely. And that's when I had to break the news to my parents that I thought that college was just not my thing. And they weren't like upset. I mean, obviously they were upset because that's what they wanted me to do, but they weren't pushing me to do it. They thought that I wasn't ready maybe yet. And I do remember my mom's words being like, well, when you're ready to go back, you're going to do it on your own. Like, me pushing you is not going to make you go back, or it's not going to make you, want to do it. So after that, I got a job at a security company. So mind you, I'm still, no, at the time I was already 18. So still very young, and I got a security job through one of my friends who, it ended up working out really good because the pay was above any like, minimum wage. And there's a lot of overtime, a lot of shifts that I can pick up. So that's what I was kind of doing for about a year. And I thought it was amazing because I was making all this money and I didn't really have any responsibilities back then, no kids, no school, no anything. So all that money, I was just basically saving it for myself or using it on my own needs. But after a while, it just got really tiring because, for one, I just felt like I wasn't really being challenged enough. Like, it's a security job, so you don't really do much. And I just, like, it just made me, like, it gave me a lot of time to think about, like, my future. And I was like, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Like, is it? And it wasn't. So another reason was because just supervisors like didn't know how to talk to you, or like they just had some type of like power trip. And I was kind of thinking like, this person has no education to be even like instructing me to do like, or speaking to me that the way that they're speaking to me, like I just didn't want to work for somebody like that, or feel like I could have done more to not be in that position. So after that, I did reach out to my parents again, and I let them know that I was ready to go back to school, but I was just kind of like looking for immediate like gratification. Like I wanted to feel like I did something and I accomplished something like fast. So I wasn't ready to go back to community college at all. I just knew I wanted to do something else. So that's when I applied to adult school, and I actually got my certification for medical billing and coding. I can't recall how I chose that field when I wanted to do like clinical stuff. Like I don't know. I don't know why I didn't choose medical assistant. But so even when I was in school for that, I remember thinking that it still wasn't challenging enough. I feel like the work was very easy, or like I don't know, there was just something about it that, I was excited to finish, and I was dedicated to do that, but I wanted more. So once I graduated from that program a year later, I was placed into a internship at a DME company, and that got me a job that I ended up being there for about 3 years. But during that time, I decided that I wanted to go back to school. So that's during those 3 years, I went back to community college and finished some of the courses, but I felt like it was still taking so long to complete the classes. And even then after, like I felt like I was still confused on what courses I was taking, and if they were going to even be like needed, required for my nursing degree that I wanted to get. So I ended up just dropping out of that class. I finished my classes, and then I ended up dropping out, and I decided that I would just go and look into nursing schools. I did look into West Coast University, and I wanted to go straight into the RN program, their BSN program. But the thing with that was that I kind of wanted to put myself through school and not rely so much on my parents. So that wasn't going to work out for me, just because it was so expensive. And they actually said that when you're in that program, it's best that you don't have a job, which is something that I just could not see myself doing, just not working and going to school, because I just wanted to do it on my own. So my cousin, I believe she was actually an employee of Pacific College, and when I asked her to help me out for my FAFSA, she recommended this school for me, which worked out great because it was closer to my budget. Although it was only an associate's degree, there was a chance that I can get into a bridge program, which would make it easier and allow me to work. It just a good balance between work and school. So yeah, I'm about a year into this school, and I can just see it. Like I can just see that I'm almost to the finish line, and I'm excited to start the next chapter in my life and pursue my education in nursing.